This year is going to be such an exciting year. We have so many things planned, and the first thing that we're doing at our homestead is actually taking down our chicken coop and building an entirely new coop. I'm really excited to share this journey. We have so many fun things that I want to talk about while we build it, because we've learned so many great things from raising our chickens the past couple of years and what to include versus what not to include. But I want to share with you today why we hate our coop and what we're not planning to bring with us to our new coop design. I also did a little bit of research. I wanted to see what other people really didn't like about their coop, because I wanted to make sure that I was gathering enough information. So we're going to go over some common mistakes that people make when building their coop and ways to actually improve them. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when building their coop, especially when having their own backyard flock, is not actually giving them an adequate amount of run space. Here at our homestead, we do let our chickens free range, although there are times when we do not have them free range, and that's when we go on vacation, we're not here. So we do always want to make sure that they have a nice big run area. Also, if it's raining or snowing, sometimes we will just keep them in our covered outdoor run section, which is this black tarped area here. So they have this whole run area, and it's really important that you do allow your chickens to have a nice outdoor run. You're not always going to be allowed to or have the ability to free range, so having an adequate amount of outdoor space is going to be really important, and making sure that that space is actually safe for your chickens and protecting them from some of the outer elements like your snow, your rain, giving them a nice shady spot. Maybe you want to add some brush or trees around or inside of your run, depending on what space or where it is exactly located, and having some of the wind blocked off from it. So we do have our coop, which has the entire wind and safety around that. So we do let a lot of the air filter through here, but we do have this one side that backs it that is blocking the wind, so there's a nice safe area for them to hang out in. Another thing that's important is in this outdoor run section, you also want to make sure that you have dust bath capabilities. So a lot of our chickens will, right there by that piece of wood, which I actually need to clean up, they do a lot of their dust baths there. We also have a nice tire in here, which we made our own dust bath in. I made the video on that, so I will link that down below if you're interested in building your own dust bath area. But honestly, just having sand, dirt, if you do have any charcoal from your fire or ash, you can bring that in there, and giving them a spot to shake in. It's really important that chickens have dust baths. It's actually vital to their health, because it is going to help smother any parasites or bad buggies that could go inside of their feathers, and it helps keep them cleaner. So definitely make sure that when you're building your coop, when you have your coop, you have a good outdoor space that also includes a dust bath area. Another really important aspect that a lot of people make mistakes on is making sure that the coop is predator proof. So you can really do this by providing locks on all of your doors to make sure that animals like fox or coyotes or raccoons can't actually get into the coop. In the outdoor run section, you can provide actually having wire along the ground. We have big stones along it so that they cannot climb in underneath, and also making sure that things like hawks or birds can't fly in from the top, because predators are going to be really stealth and try to get in. We've done so much to barricade predators from getting inside of our coop. We built the entire coop, so this was actually an old barn stall, an old horse stall, and we cleared it all out. We laid chicken wire across the entire bottom. Then we laid waterproof mats to make it easier to clean. Then we went ahead and put their bedding on top of that. So it's really protected inside of the coop, and inside of the run, it's a little less protected, but we are here all the time. We have 2 dogs that are always outside and helping protect the flock. We also have guinea hens, which are really protective of the herd, which is a great way to help protect your chicken flock. but making sure that you're really keeping all those predators out is really important as you build your coop, and something that you want to really look into. Raccoons are able to really maneuver and get into places. You can have snakes that climb and slither in and are pretty small and come in and try to steal eggs. So you got to make sure that any tiny little slit you are locking up. Another big mistake that I see is not providing automated systems for feeding and watering. This is such a simple automated feed system. I have an old Home Depot bucket. I went ahead, drilled holes into the bottom, and then included this cylinder so it has a nice tray. And we fill this up around 2 times per week, and the chickens can really just eat. It keeps coming out and refilling itself. It is so easy, and it cuts down on the amount of manual labor you have to do every day, filling water, filling feed, collecting eggs. You're already doing a lot of these things, but what can you do to lessen your load so you can actually enjoy your animals? And automated systems within your coop is really important. Another big mistake that I often see is not actually storing your food in the right way. And you want to make sure that you are storing your food correctly, and you're making sure that you're storing your food so predators are not able to get it. We just got a large delivery of feed. We buy all of our feed in big batches so we don't have to pick it up or do it as often. And then once we get it in, we fill it up again into some nice large plastic buckets. I like these because they're a lot easier to carry around, lighter weight, easier to maneuver than a big steel bin. Although there are a lot of positives to also using some big steel bins. One, in that critters can't actually chew and get into those, and they're probably more common than using something like this. But I think this is my favorite hack at the homestead, and being able to quickly and easily get things sectioned out and stored, and then they stack really well, and I can hold and carry them around. Now, we talked a lot about how you want to be able to have a great space for your chickens, give them the ability to exercise outside, give them the ability to automate their feed, which is going to help you, as well as store their feed in the correct way and have the correct feed organization systems around your coop. But once we actually go inside the coop, there's a lot of things that I'd probably improve on ours, and things that are high priority when you're building on your own. The first one is having a good ventilation system. We do have a lot of like cracks in here. This door behind me actually does open, so in warmer weather we will open it up, but ventilation is really important. It can get dusty, and there's a lot of grime and dirt and droppings that come down into your coop, and you need to make sure that the air is clearing out. This dusty, ammonia-filled air can be really harmful for your chicken's respiratory system, and it could cause long-term damage. So make sure that when you are looking at coops or building out your own, that you do look for something that has good ventilation and good airflow that can pass through it. It's going to help lower the bad smells in there and just create a safer environment for your chickens long-term. Not necessarily a coop build mistake, but something that is often a mistake with coops is actually forgetting to lock up and put your chickens in at the end of the night. So something that we have in our coop, now we do have the accessible doors, but in our run we also have a solar powered chicken run door, which has been really helpful because at night it automatically closes, in the morning it automatically opens, so it lets our chickens in and out of their run. And then depending on the time of year, we'll let the run door keep open so they can go in and out as they choose, but it's still a safe place, and it's still keeping them safe from predators, especially at night when a lot of predators do often tend to hit the coop. If you're raising chickens, it's most likely because of these butt nuggets over here. Now, I love to start every single one of my mornings with some nice eggs, and when you're looking at coops and designing your coop, one big item that we've been thinking about is the nesting boxes, which is where we get all these little guys from. Now, the importance of the nesting box is that you want to create a space that's dark and safe for your chickens. Primarily, you want to make sure that the nesting boxes are not going to be by doorways and there isn't people coming in and out of that area, because it's not going to be perceived as that nice, that relaxing, and that safe where they can actually be sitting and laying eggs. You also want to choose an area that is easy to clean and isn't an area that your chickens are going to then want to perch in. So making sure that you have enough perches is going to be really important to also think about when building your coop, and we're going to get to that one in just a bit. But for the nesting boxes, the rule of thumb is to have one nesting box for every 4 chickens. We're a little down on that. We actually have a lot more chickens than we should for the amount of nesting boxes that we have. So in our new coop, we do want to build out the nesting boxes, add a couple more of them. And I also really want to build in the fact where you can reach in from the outside and go into the nesting boxes. Oftentimes, especially in the summer, you want to just grab a nice new fresh egg and not really disturb and walk in there, because sometimes you have chickens in there laying and you kind of just go in and grab some. It's not as bad. You don't have to really go into their environment, disturb them as often. So just the ease of access, I definitely want to have that. And I really want to think about how we can make them cleaner. Definitely making sure that you do have a raised nesting box is also really important, so you don't ever want to put the nesting boxes on the ground. And we talked a little bit about having enough. The reason why you do want to have enough nesting boxes is because if you don't have enough, then your chickens are going to start to lay them in different places because there just isn't enough nesting boxes to lay in. We've had a problem where they'll often just lay all of them inside of one nesting box. We've also had problems with them laying eggs around our property, especially because they free range, or on the ground of the coop, and that's really not as clean, and you're going to get a lot dirtier of eggs, like these ones with poo and dirt on them, if they are around anywhere. So to keep it a lot cleaner, you want to make sure that you're refreshing your nesting box with clean ingredients like hay. You have a nice soft bedding, there's no broken eggs, you're giving them enough space so that they aren't cracking them or bringing in a lot of dirt. Lastly, the biggest update and mistake that we made in this coop is around perches. Now, we definitely have enough perch spaces for our chickens. You want to have around 10 inches per chicken. Unless you have bantam chicks, then you can go a little bit smaller. We have a really large amount of perches. Originally we didn't, and we were having them go, they would like perch in the nesting boxes, which you definitely don't want because then they'll poo in there and it's just a not clean, it's a dirty environment. So it's not very fun. So definitely make sure you have enough. But something that we didn't think about was actually making the perches collapsible up so that you can easily clean within your coop. It's really important that you're keeping a clean coop. We do a deep litter method here in our coop, but moving forward, I think we might try some different methods, and we want to try testing out cleaning it more often this coming spring, so we can do some experimentation there. And being able to clean under the perch without climbing in and underneath it and getting the perch all on you and all that poo would be really, really nice. So that's something that I would really love to build in to our new perching space. It's just the ability to collapse it up and down, but still have a really large amount of perching area for all of our chickies, because it is really important that they do have a perch to sleep on. It's nice and high and safe for them during the night. This is obviously not an entirely inclusive list of every single mistake that you could be making on a chicken coop, but these are probably the most common that I've seen, heard about, and ones that we actually want to change within our coop. So stay tuned. We're going to be making a lot more updates and changes to our coop, building out a lot more spaces for our chickens, and I can't wait to have you along for the journey. Bye.